December 16th, 2020, 4:09 a.m. In an ordinary village in southern France, police receive an emergency call. A 33-year-old woman has disappeared. When the first patrol arrives at the house in Cagnac-les-Mines just minutes later, investigators find no sign of forced entry. Her personal belongings, her handbag, papers, bank card, car, and phone, have all been left behind. Her 2 children are asleep upstairs. In the middle of a national curfew, in the freezing winter cold, Delphine Jubillar has vanished. On the hallway table, one detail immediately catches the investigators' attention. Her prescription glasses. Glasses the 33-year-old nurse relied on every day. Why would a young woman walk out into the freezing night with temperatures around 28 degrees Fahrenheit without them? The first searches begin immediately. Flashlights sweep across the village streets, neighboring gardens, and surrounding woodland. Nothing. Not a piece of clothing, not a trace. And as the hours pass, the same question keeps haunting investigators. How can a person disappear from a place without leaving behind a single clear clue? To understand what happened, investigators begin examining every square foot of the house. The first thing that catches their attention is the laundry. In the middle of the night, the washing machine is running, with the duvet cover from the couple's bed inside. To investigators, the timing is disturbing. To the defense, the late-night wash had a much more ordinary explanation, involving the family's dog. 2 completely different interpretations of the same detail. Then there is Delphine's car. It is parked outside the house, but its exact position immediately raises questions because it does not match Delphine's usual parking habits. And then there is the most disturbing detail of all: her glasses. Found inside the house, they undergo a detailed forensic examination. The conclusion presented at trial is striking. The frame was found broken into 3 pieces. Experts concluded that the damage resulted from dynamic forces applied from the outside, consistent, among other possibilities, with a violent impact. A woman disappears. Her glasses remain inside the house, and they have been violently damaged. Meanwhile, the couple's digital life begins to reveal another side of the story. Investigators discover that Delphine had been involved in a long-distance relationship and was preparing to leave her husband. On the evening of December 15th at 10:55 p.m., she sends a final photograph to the man she had been seeing. It would be her last message, and her phone tells another story. It remains within the area of the home. It never goes out of coverage. It is never switched off. It is never placed in airplane mode. Until 7:48 that morning, the phone continues to register on the network before disappearing permanently. But another witness statement complicates the timeline even further. The couple's 6-year-old son later says that he heard his parents talking after he had gone to bed. He places that conversation between 10:55 and 10:59 p.m. Just minutes later, 2 neighbors report hearing a woman's screams around 11 p.m., apparently coming from the street, followed by barking dogs. Investigators bring in tracking dogs. Outside the house, the dogs pick up a scent and follow it for several yards, then suddenly stop in the middle of the street, as if someone had been picked up by a vehicle at that exact spot. With no body and no obvious crime scene, investigators begin focusing on the last person known to have seen Delphine alive: her husband, Cagnac Jubillar. Very quickly, the 33-year-old painter and construction worker begins to unsettle investigators. While the village organizes search parties, Several witnesses describe him as unusually calm, even making cynical remarks that seem completely out of place amid the growing panic. Then, investigators examine his phone. They discover that, just days after Delphine's disappearance, he had rejoined dating apps. As investigators dig deeper into the couple's private life, they uncover a marriage already falling apart, strained by severe financial problems. People close to Delphine say she had expressed fear of her husband's anger. Her own mother reports a chilling statement Cedric allegedly made during an argument. A threat that he could get rid of his wife and make sure nobody ever found her body. But his lawyers insist that Cedric is simply the perfect suspect, targeted because of his unusual behavior, not because of direct physical evidence. No DNA directly linking him to a murder. No blood. Nothing conclusive. In June 2021, 6 months after the disappearance, Cedric Jubillar is nevertheless formally charged with the murder of his wife and placed in pre-trial detention. In prison, Cedric is placed in isolation. There, he becomes acquainted with another inmate, known as Marco. According to Marco, Cedric eventually confides in him. The inmate claims that Cedric told him how he had transported Delphine's body and where he had hidden it in the surrounding area. The defense strongly disputes these statements, accusing the prisoner of providing an opportunistic testimony. But the allegations are enough to trigger another series of massive searches. Nearby construction sites are combed through. Investigators focus in particular on a freshly poured concrete slab close to the family home. Authorities bring in ground-penetrating radar to scan beneath the surface. Then they drill into the concrete. But once again, the ground gives them nothing. For 3 years, the searches continue to lead nowhere, and every request for Cedric's release is rejected. By the end of 2023, prosecutors order Cedric Jubillar to stand trial before the Tarn Assize Court for the murder of his wife. In October 2025, the trial opens in Albi. It is an extraordinary trial. Delphine is still missing, and the prosecution must convince the court without being able to present her body. Two completely opposing narratives collide. The prosecution presents what it considers an exceptionally strong body of circumstantial evidence. The defense repeatedly argues that without definitive physical evidence, reasonable doubt must prevail. After 4 weeks of hearings, the verdict arrives. Cedric Jubillar is found guilty of murdering his wife. He is sentenced to 30 years in prison. The court also strips him of all parental authority over their children. Cedric Jubillar continues to maintain his innocence and immediately appeals the verdict. At that moment, everyone believes the truth about Delphine's whereabouts may be lost forever. For more than 5 years, Cedric Jubillar has denied killing Delphine. He was convicted, he appealed, and as his second trial approached, he changed his story. This time, he wasn't saying he was innocent. He was talking, and more importantly, he claimed to know where Delphine had been buried. In July 2026, in a letter sent to the authorities, Cedric Jubillar finally admits his involvement in his wife's death and provides investigators with information about where her body had been hidden. Investigators go to the location. They didn't find Delphine inside a house. They didn't find her in a car. They didn't find her beneath a concrete slab. They found her exactly where Cedric had told them to look, in a field between Mélac and Villeneuve-sur-Ver. On July 16, 2026, human remains are discovered in the area. A few days later, DNA analysis confirms what Delphine's family had feared and waited 5 years to learn. The remains are those of Delphine Jubillar. Following this major discovery, and because further forensic examinations of the remains are required, the appeal trial is postponed until the first half of 2027. Throughout all those years of lies, searches, and legal battles, 2 children had to grow up in the shadow of this tragedy. From the very beginning, Louis and Elia were taken in by their mother's family and kept away from the media spotlight in an attempt to give them a chance to rebuild their lives. 5.5 years of silence, searches, and speculation have finally led to one certainty: Delphine has been found. But one final question still hangs over the case. Why did he wait so long to tell anyone where she was?